Obviously, if you guys have seen, we haven't really been uploading much lately. We felt there was a little bit more important things going on in the world than a YouTube channel and making YouTube videos. So we decided to do it a little bit more our way, and that entailed going on Instagram Live and talking to some of the wrestling fans, because that's a community that we predominantly find ourselves in. So, listening to them, listening to people that went to the protest, listening to Black wrestling fans share their stories, and really just listening. And with BLXCKMASS, we started donating towards the NAACP, which is something that we both found was a very good cause. I'm not really one for politics, so this is also not going to be a political talk. The only thing I'll say is, we find ourselves in an interesting time with the human race, and I've learned that you get much more accomplished by talking to people and explaining your point than jumping down people's throat. You're gonna run into enough people that do not agree with your stance, and not just with this, with basically everything. So learn how to be kind, learn how to be patient, and help each other out. And sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of a certain four-legged white monster that tries to jump in front of the camera and tries to steal my thunder. Like I said, I've always experienced that with patience and coming from a good point, and being able to explain your point of view gets more done than jumping down people's throats. So whatever happens, stand for what you stand for, make your voices heard, and at the same time also keep perspective and keep the conversation going. So that's what I have to say about it.
And talking about keeping the conversation going, we got the chance to speak to some really dear friends of ours, Titus O'Neill and Naomi, and I got to speak to some of my family members, and just really listening. This is obviously a very heavy topic of conversation in this house, but I'm sure everybody else at home, but it's been really nice to just listen and be a part of that, because hearing all of these amazing stories that we did get to hear on Instagram Live, and it just really hits home with us. And we got to sign petitions, we got to donate, and we're still going to keep this going, and we still want to obviously keep this conversation going, but also stay open to listening to other people too. So I think it's
I think we don't want to drag it out endlessly long. I think there's nothing that we're going to say that hasn't already been said, or anything that's profound, especially not coming from me.
Not true.
So with that being said, we also tried to kind of keep the world going at the same time, whilst keeping that with us. So, and thus we started doing a small upload again today, and we'll start continuing slowly but surely whilst keeping the conversation going. So enjoy. So I got the question asked if I wanted to do a chest day. Now, I don't classify my workouts as leg day or back day. I classify my workout in bench day, squat day, and deadlift day, and military press day. Military press so because of my shoulders. So today is bench press day, which is obviously more a push orientated workout. Right now we're on week 2 of the new routine. The last time we spoke, we were still on the first routine. I think we were on week 2 or 3. So we had our PR week, and my bench only improved a little bit. Not the strongest bencher in the world. I think I ended on 275, which is not, nothing special. Deadlift was 420, which I was quite happy with. You leave those jokes in your pocket. And squat was 370, which was also not phenomenal, but we deal with a lot of injuries. So my strength is always going to be so actually, as we're speaking, I have a little bit of a hip issue from wrestling and all these minor injuries, but this is normal. This is what we do, so we just try to keep maintained. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to warm up like crazy, because of all the boxing, all the wrestling I've done, my shoulders, my chest, everything is always very fragile, and I wouldn't say injury prone, but I always deal with like a little bit of an ache here and there. So all you need right now is, after you foam rolled, which I've already done, I foam rolled my shoulders, my upper back, my lats, is a elastic band. So we're gonna do a couple of exercises with that, around 2 or 3 sets, depending on when you feel you warm up. A lot of times they say, hey, do 3 sets, but I spoke to strength conditioning coach Sean Hayes, the guy who runs the performance center at WWE, and feeling wise, I felt a lot of times if I went for 3 rounds of warming up, it would intrude on my workout. And if I would do 2 rounds of warming up, that was right on the mark for me. So whether it's 2, whether it's 3, sometimes people need 4. I'm gonna leave that up to you. But first, for now, we're gonna use the rep band. Do those 2 to 3 times to start with. Since I was way more time. Always. So now that we've warmed up, we're gonna start positioning ourselves under the bar. Everybody has their own way of lying under a bar. I'm always parallel with my shoulders. I have an arch and my heels are planted in the ground. It's more of a powerlift stance, really. I have to use the shoulder saver. I've covered that before, just because of my shoulders. This is a good way for me to not get injured and still being able to maintain either mass or strength, whichever I want. You can find these anyway. You can get these on Amazon if you need. They're not super expensive, but they will save you a ton of stress on your shoulders. So you can, it's almost like a plank push or a board press. So we're gonna lay down. First set's gonna be between 10 and 15 reps, just trying to tell my body what we're gonna do and slowly work up the weight until we hit 60% of my max for the first 8 reps. Usually between 2 or 4 sets is where I'm there. And after that, we just kind of keep moving on to 60%, 65%, and 70%. So that's 8 reps, and 6 reps. And as I'm benching, I always place my bar on my chest for a good 2 seconds. Especially when warming up. So I'm gonna get my explosive power in. So now that we got the quote-unquote main lift out of the way, I move on to accessory items. First is a hammer press. You can do this with dumbbells. I prefer to do it with the bar. You can switch them out, whichever you want. Your accessory lifts they aid and are accessory, but they're not necessarily always needed. If you're just a guy who is just going for strength, you want to supplement more back, supplement more shoulders. And one of the things that Coach Sean Hayes from the WWE Performance Center made me aware of is, the more you push, the more you gotta pull. So for each push you do, you gotta have 2 pulls. So in between every set that I do, I grab the rep band again and I do pull aparts, or I'll do standing rows or band pulls, whichever you wanna call them. So the object here is to, in increasing weight, is to hit 3 sets of 10 with band pulls or band pulls to your chin. So we're gonna start with that first one. I'm gonna use a wide grip because after this is a close grip bench press to put a little bit more of an accent on triceps, and after that we roll into a little bit more arm workout, because if I do more for shoulders and for chest, I'm gonna feel it in the back. So let's hit that first set. So now that we've completed the first accessory exercise, we're gonna go over to number 2, which is a close grip bench press. Same rep scheme, 3 sets of 8 with an increasing weight. If squats are the exercise to build legs and strength, pull-ups are the squats for the upper back. So I generally try to at least incorporate pull-ups twice, if not 3 times a week. Right now we're gonna try and hit 50 reps in as little sets as we possibly can. I'm not the best at pull-ups. Usually I can get them in 2 or 3 sets. So let's get into it. After this, like a good transition to go from pull-ups, I always feel as we go into arms, because especially with the pull-up part, you connect your biceps. So for me, naturally, it's kind of move on to curls, pull downs, stuff like that, especially because you've already kind of like touched those triceps with the 3 bench presses. More triceps, more biceps, and then kind of wrapping it up. Start with rope pull downs, or actually band pull downs. I'm gonna step in the middle of them, make sure that my triceps are nice and high, elbows forward, so when I push out, I get a nice extension on. We're gonna hit about 15 to 20 of these and then transition in about 8 to 12 on the easy curls. Those for about 3 to 4 sets. So now that we've wrapped that up, let's go over a few things. I have a isolated arm day for the most part. I don't do a ton of it, but usually on my rest days, because they're such small, minor muscle groups, I'll target them a little extra. As I said before, my workout programs are based on 531's training systems, the Westside book of methods, and as well as Starting Strength. Just fun, basic books that allow you to endlessly change your workout routines. If you ever feel that with like bodybuilding training, you feel like you kind of get lost in the shovel, you're not getting that much progression anymore, try switching it up to something as powerlifting, because I promise you that it will do something for your muscle density. It will do something for your style of training, for your physique, because it obviously hammers more down to low twitch fibers. And honestly, I've always felt that with powerlifting, and this is obviously personal, there's nothing wrong with bodybuilding or any type of way of training. Everybody likes what they do, and everybody likes what they do on their own. There isn't one type of training where I would say, oh, you have to do this or you have to do that. I'm just looking at, for me, as I've always explained to you guys, from an athlete's point of view, bodybuilding doesn't have much to do with what I do in the ring. Endurance and strength, explosive strength is what I find most importantly, and then comes aesthetic. So I've always feel that when I do powerlifting routines, I'm working up to something. You know, you have an X amount of weeks until you work to your personal record week, and you can see how much strength you've gained. And again, you know, there's people who have no issue with working out a 12 to 15 week routine program for sure, like aesthetics and stuff like that. Hey, kudos to you if you can do that. That's awesome. That's also an athlete's mind. To summarize it, you know, you got to find what you like. I have tried literally almost every type of training of workout. I've tried bodybuilding. I've tried, you know, more like lower tempo fitness, cardio training, spinning class. I've even done steps class just because I wanted to experience it. It was tough, you know. CrossFit, I still use elements in my workout sometimes in CrossFit, which is also coming into the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about. I want to make a video where I show you guys with a simple deck of cards how you can do a quarantine style home workout for people who have not been able to go to the gym or are getting a little, you know, I'm sitting, I'm not moving as much as I usually do. And we're going to start filming that soon. We're also going to start filming a new kickboxing oriented one because my routine that I have right now is still 8 weeks. We're on week 5. Some of these things that we film, I kind of get filmed out of order. Some of it is filmed before the lockdown because we have a lot of footage from back then. And some of it is filmed during this one. So right now, because we're in quarantine, I feel like filming something that aids you guys like instantly right now might be beneficial. Last thing I'm going to touch about is feel free to ask me some questions, because in the next time we're doing a workout video, we're going to answer some of the questions you guys send me in. Please keep it in the realm of working out, because that's the stuff that I like to cover on this channel. Again, I've told you guys plenty of times before, I'm not the biggest in the YouTube platform, or I'm not the biggest on social media, but I do like doing the workout stuff because I feel I can give something back to you guys. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to leave some feedback. Feel free to leave a comment. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and see you next time.